So, in my time talking with people and reading things people say, reading books and stuff, surfing all over the internet trying to find information on wilderness living skills and plant identification and water procurement and all that. The two of the most commonly asked questions are, what is a good natural bug repellent, and what is a good way to procure safe drinking water in a wilderness situation without modern conveniences? And even though those two topics are discussed at length, and there's all kinds of literature and stuff on the internet and that talk about it and give solutions, I think very few of those solutions, if any, are feasible. The only way to purify your water in a wilderness setting is by boiling it. Simply bringing it to a boil will kill everything in there long enough for it to pass through your system safely. The only thing it won't do is get rid of chemicals, toxins of that nature, which are generally man-made. But there are a lot of lakes and streams that have high levels of naturally occurring toxins that you would need to get out of there before you drink it. And boiling won't do that. But charcoal will. And activated charcoal works much better than plain old charcoal. And there is a difference, and you can't make activated charcoal in the bush, but you can make plain old charcoal simply by smothering out your fire and letting the coals turn into charcoal, essentially. You starve the fire of oxygen and it will make charcoal. That will work to remove the toxins. It just doesn't work as good as activated carbon or activated charcoal. They put the charcoal through a special process to open up the pores in it, and that's what activates it. It opens up those pores and creates more pores for the chemicals to go and get lodged in. So for me, that's my option when procuring safe drinking water in the wild. First, I filter it through grass or my clothing to get out any sediment. Then I boil it, and then if I felt I needed to, I would throw some carbon in there, some charcoal from the fire, and let it sit for a few hours, because it actually takes quite a few hours for it to remove the toxins. It doesn't just happen instantly, as some people might think or something, I don't know, but I would like to say that anybody out there that's making primitive water filters and stuff, I'd make sure you test that out before you decide to rely on it, because the ones that I've seen made out of little pop bottles and stuff, those aren't going to work. You need something like at least a 5-gallon bucket to filter any amount of water to live on in the wild for any period of time. A simple pop bottle or a 2-foot section of PVC pipe, that's not really going to cut it. You need to test this stuff out before you expose yourself to it in a survival situation or what have you. I don't think it's a good idea to post them videos about water filters and stuff, because I think it sends a bad message to people. I think a lot of people might try those and end up getting sick, or end up with cancer or something down the road because of what didn't come out of the water during the filtering. I mean, I know people like to get on the internet and share ideas and stuff, but you gotta think this stuff through. You can't just be posting up half-baked stuff and somebody might see that thinks you really are an expert and they'll go out and try it. I mean, what I would say is if you're gonna make a filter and show it, then you should be drinking the water that comes out of that filter yourself in the video to prove that that works. That's my take on that. If it ain't fit for everyday life, it ain't fit for survival in the wilderness. That's my opinion. Filtering your water through a sediment filter of some type, then boiling it, and then letting it sit with a good amount of charcoal for 8 hours, 10 hours is the only even halfway safe method I could think of to remove most of the harmful things that could be in the water. And even then, it's not 100% safe, and it's not something I would want to rely on a daily basis. But I think that would be your best option if you had no other choice. At least by boiling the water, simply boiling it, even if you don't filter it, even if you don't put it in charcoal, if you boil it, it's going to kill off anything that's in that water long enough for it to get through your system safely. The only other thing you're going to have to worry about is chemical contamination. Heavy metals, mercury, lead, benzene, who knows what could be in the water as far as chemicals go. But I figured I'd just share that.